Calvary Chapel with Coach Jake Harman. Is it Harman, right?
Harman, yes.
So I'm here at Calvary Chapel with Coach Jake Harman. Coach, can you tell us a little bit about Calvary Chapel this year?
Well, we're just doing our best to continue the tradition here at Calvary Chapel. Obviously, it's been forged by a great coach in John Azevedo, and he's handed down the program through Joey Coffrin, and then after Joey Coffrin, Josh Holliday, and after Josh Holliday, Arsen Alexanian, and then now the responsibility has fallen to me. And so I want to do a very good job with the stewardship of this great tradition that John has started here back in the early 90s.
Nice. Coach Harman, can you tell us a little bit about some of the guys who are going to be top contenders this year for Calvary Chapel to be maybe state champions or plays pretty good in the state tournament?
Well, I'm obviously a little biased. I feel that every single one of my guys that I coach has the potential to be a state placer. Some people might think, oh, that's crazy, that's not realistic or whatever, but we don't think anything different than that. We train the way that we're trying to make the top of the podium. We don't believe in, oh, let's just go in the tournament to just be in it. We want to win the whole thing. And so every single guy from 106s to 182 pounds, so that's what we have, everyone is training in such a way that they want to be the state champion. I think as far as like some of the most consistent high place winners for us, we have Aaron Negretti. I think he's currently ranked either second or third in the state, and he's doing great things for us right now and just looking solid. We have a bunch of great guys. We have little freshman Luke Troy. He's tough as nails. We're just tightening him up with his match strategy and his pressure and all of that, but his inherent wrestling sense and everything is just very sharp. Peter Cunningham, obviously, is a fireball. He just is 110% the whole match long, and just tightening up his match strategy as well, and getting him to win those close matches and just be thoughtful about his pressure and offense in the later periods. Christian Claudio, he's a pinning machine. And we just have a lot of great guys. It's hard to go through the entire list without sounding like I'm talking about the entire team,
right,
as if they're going to be state champions. But I'm biased. I'm the coach. I love them. I see how hard they sacrifice, how hard they work, and I'm behind them 100%. If their goal is to be a state champion, which pretty much individually every single guy has written down this goal, then I'm going to support them wholeheartedly with all of my focus and all of my effort that I can give to them.
How does it feel to have Coach Sal Garcia and the coaching staff this year?
Well, the Lord's really provided an amazing arrangement of guys to come help. Sal Garcia has been an amazing help to me from the administrative aspect. He's very thorough. He's just on top of everything from wait lists and check sheets and dates and all of these things, and it just takes a big chunk of things off of my plate and off of my mind, and I can focus more on kind of administrating things in the actual practice and basically working with David Hargy, Chad Hemerson, Justin Paulson, Marcus Malika's in here helping us out, and Dennis Garcia, and we have a lot of great coaches that are here all just investing in these young men. Gabe Rodriguez has recently joined our staff, and we're just really blessed with all the people that have come back to help and invest in these young men and invest in this tradition.
Coach Harman, one last question. I know you're a busy guy and everything with practice right now.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a coach in a school that has so little students, but yet every year you guys are like in the state tournament, you guys are sending 2 to 3 kids every year. How does that feel?
Well, obviously it's a challenge. I think educating the culture around the school is a challenge. I think that, everyone from the outside looking in thinks, oh, Calvary Chapel, wrestling powerhouse or this or that. But if you go, 400 yards over to the campus,
right,
I don't think people realize like the sacrifice necessary, the long hours, the focus, the balance, all of these different things that all of these guys need to exhibit and do exhibit. The tutoring that they go to and all of the, extra things that they do to get themselves ready for our travel schedule and our competition schedule, and how you have to stay on top of them with their grades and always communicating with their teachers and making sure that they're staying on top of their assignments and all of those things. I mean, those are just things before we even get in the wrestling room. And then we get in the wrestling room and we're lifting hard 3 times a week and training moderately hard, 5 times a week. We peak for certain parts of the season, and then there's some lulls where we allow them to heal and allow them to do some circulatory type of, movements and things like this. And, it's just a lot of different types of balance. And it's hard to educate the culture around here like that. And I think, once we start to achieve that and educate people more, and also invite people into this community, and that's something I've really tried to focus on this last year, is working on, we have a preschool, preschool through high school on our campus. And so just working on building kids, from the preschool level and just showing them how fun wrestling is. We just had 2 modules of youth Team Thunder practice before this. We had one module that comes right after school, so all the kids can come from after school, and they're just learning their stance and all of that, and then we have an advanced module where these are kids that are going to go and compete at Tulsa Nationals and Reno and, all these different, national dual type of things, and these are the up and coming kids that you'll be hearing about in the next 5 or 6 years, and they're passionate, and they're in here lifting, and they're doing all these things because they're watching their big brothers, on the program, and they're seeing what they're doing, and they want to emulate that and work as hard as they possibly can. So it's just like cultivating this community here and trying to replicate it and duplicate it amongst the different time schedules that we have. Right now we have about 4 cells, 4 opportunities for youth practice each day, and then we have a 2-hour practice for high school practice in the evenings, and then after that some kids stay after for personals with Marcus Malika, David Hargy, Justin Paulson, Chad Hemerson, or whatever. We just have a great array of wrestling opportunity and transfer of knowledge. We're really blessed with the community that we're growing here, and I just want to do a good job being the shepherd and steward of it as long as the Lord has me here.
Coach Harman, you're doing such a good job. The California Wrestler has you, I believe, Calvary Chapel ranked top 10 in state. And I know your whole lineup is full of studs, full of wrestler studs. And I know you're going to do pretty well in the state. Coach Harman, thanks again for inviting me to come to Calvary Chapel.
Yes,
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending this time. And I've been watching all the interviews that you're putting online and all the hard work you're doing and all the miles that you're driving all over California in order to educate all of the people about, California wrestling. And I really hope the Lord blesses your efforts. And I really hope the wrestling community can see us coaches and programs from the inside out, and they'll realize, how much we all have in common, and I think foremost, how much we all love the kids, and
right.
We want the best for these kids. We want these kids to achieve things that we never got to achieve. We want to help them to get scholarships and things like that and help them change their lives. And I know that I'm just the same as all these other coaches. Some of these friends that I have, Ben Holschler and the Tirapellis and Bramstetter and all these guys that have been around here for all this time, when I sit down and talk with them, it's just like talking with brothers because they have the same heart. They want these kids to maximize their potential and have the best experience in the sport of wrestling in high school. And
absolutely.
So
yeah.
It's a great lineage to be a part of, California wrestling.
It is. Thank you, Coach Harman. Appreciate it.